Is this going to be annoying? Probably. Oh boy. I've honestly just been sitting here waiting for this thing to stop. I could probably go touch it, but that's a lot of effort to stand back up, so. Money. I need it, you need it, and I'm pretty sure you're like me in the fact that you want more of it. And the first thing to be said about money is it is not an evil thing, right? Money itself, hold on, let me go find that. Don't want to lose this. I keep a $2 bill with me at all times. Money is not an evil thing, right? There's nothing evil about this inherently, but money is probably one of the most spiritually dangerous things that you can have. And today we're going to talk about 3 aspects of money. Idolatry, contentment, and wisdom. Okay, first, so idolatry. For those of you that don't know what idolatry is, in simple terms, it's when you take anything that is not God and you make it your God. You worship it, right? The Bible pulls no punches when it talks about money being an idol. Matthew 6:24 says, "No one can serve 2 masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money." So what does it look like for us to have money as our idol? It can be many, many different ways. Do you hoard up your money and never spend it? Are you too afraid maybe to spend it? Do you spend your money all the time trying to buy stuff so you can show off to people and seem rich? Do you work nonstop trying to make money and just work yourself to death trying to earn as much money as you can and trying to find jobs that you don't even like just to make money? And do you constantly think about how much money you have and how much money other people have and try to compare? And do you try to work money into every conversation, right? Whether that's through actual money or it's possessions that you bought through your money. These are all common ways that we show that money has become an idol, right? We become obsessed with spending our money and making our money and showing off our money. And in order to know if money is really an idol to you, do you see it as a ticket to the good life? Do you see it as a way to provide safety and happiness for you? Or in some ways, do you see it as a way to replace God in your life? Money is not the source of safety and happiness and peace and the good life, right? The good life that you think that you want through money really is not the good life. And this leads to our second point of contentment. What does contentment look like? We currently live in a culture where we are told that you want better and you want more, right? You want better than whatever you currently have, and you want more of whatever you have, and maybe even more than what other people have. And the way to get that is money. I guarantee you, if you go over to the trending page of YouTube right now, I guarantee you'll find multiple videos of extremely rich celebrities and their music videos and their vlogs showing off their cars and their houses and literally throwing stacks of money around in these music videos and vlogs. And someone like Mr. Beast, right? He's every single week, putting out videos of throwing around hundreds of thousands of dollars just meaninglessly, like it has no purpose. And really, we see and we watch those videos and we want that, right? We want to be able to have tons of money to do whatever we want with it. And really, that's kind of dangerous, right? And it's also really dangerous when we go on Instagram and we go on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and we see people posting Snapchats of their vacations and Snapchats of stuff that they bought, and we're sitting there in our homes, right? And we're sitting there, usually looking at our phones, just desiring all of these things, desiring cool vacations and cars and money and all the fancy things in life. And the problem is we sit there and we grow sad about what we do have, right? We are not content in our stuff because we want what everybody else has. And the reality is that feeling would never go away, right? Even if you got all that money, you would still not be content with what you had if you're constantly looking at what other people have. Because it's impossible to have everything, really. And so, what does the Bible say about desire and contentment? Matthew 19:24 says, "Again I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven." So first, Jesus here says it's not that money is bad, but that being rich can be detrimental to your life, right? That having a lot of money makes it really easy to fall prey to not being content with your life and to looking at money as an idol, like we talked about before. So all those people that you see on Instagram and YouTube and everything, you may want what they have, but the reality is that life is pretty dangerous when it comes to your spiritual life. Second, Hebrews 13:5 says, "Keep your life free from money and be content with what you have, for he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you." So what need do we have for riches when we have God? And I know that probably sounds cliche, but really, what is the purpose of paper money in the face of knowing God? I talked about this in my Take Charge video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But about how everything else is garbage compared to knowing God. I mean, we live our life on this earth and maybe we try to hoard up as much money as we can to spend on frivolous things, but what is that in compared to knowing God and being with Him for all of eternity? And the answer is money is worthless compared to that. Now, that's not to say we don't need money, right? Contentment, you can still be content and not have any money, but the reality is you do need money to live and to eat and to have places to sleep and everything. I'm not saying have no money. I'm just saying be content with what God has given you. Which brings us to our last point of wisdom and being wise with your money. And there are many Christians who are rich, and that is a blessing. That's great. God has, bestowed that lifestyle on them for a purpose. And yes, it is tougher biblically to be rich and to look to God, but money is really important in God's kingdom too, right? If money is given to us by God as a gift, we turn around and use that for God's kingdom. The church requires money. It requires giving. And that's a big part of being wise with it, is knowing how much to save and spend wisely and how much to give to the church and give to charities and everything. Because really, it's all God's money. And that's the first step of being wise with your money, is realizing that, right? That none of it really belongs to you. It belongs to God. And so really, like I said, money is not necessarily a bad thing in itself or a good thing in itself, but it can be used for evil things and it can be used for good things. And it's just a matter of being wise with it and realizing what its purpose is. So this brings me to my favorite verse about money, which is 1 Timothy 6:17 through 19. "Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. In this way they will lay up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life." The main parts in this verse are: 1, don't put your hope in wealth. 2, God provides not only what we need, but also provides for our enjoyment. And 3, do good and be generous. Being wise with your money means that knowing that the money is God's, right? And it's been given for a purpose. It's not to put your faith in, and it's not to make an idol, but it's used to be good for the others and used for the good of God's kingdom. And this looks like being wise with saving and generous with giving. So I'm going to say that again: be wise with saving and generous with giving. It doesn't mean hoard up your wealth, and it doesn't mean throw all your wealth away. Spending money wisely means not gambling or betting or wasting money on stuff that we really don't need. It's okay to spend money, hard-earned money, on stuff that you want, but like dumping money into stuff that really is not wise, a wise purchase, isn't probably the smartest thing. And so, like I said, just to wrap it up, money can be used for good and can be used to change the world, and it's necessary. But having a lot of it and making an idol is super, super dangerous, according to the Bible. So the journal prompt today is: what do you spend your money on? Write that down, and write down what you spend your money on, pretty much on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And are these things that you feel like you need? And what are some ways that you can be better about how you spend your money and be wiser about how you save it? And where can you give? So those are all questions to spark a journal prompt. Thank you all for watching today. The challenge is in the description. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week.